us start today's session. So in today's class, we are going to discuss the interactive report in WebInterApp. So to develop an interactive report, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take two input values, sales document low, sales document high. I want to take two input values. So we are going to use two input values. Hello students, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Everyone? What about others? I think some are able to hear. Kalyan? If there is any problem, just try to send a message.
Yes, sir, I can hear you, sir.
Okay. Sandeep, there might be problem with your settings. Just check that.
There are 7 other callers on the call.
Hello Sandeep, I think you can hear me now.
Yeah, now I could hear you, sir.
Okay. So Ashish, can you hear me?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, okay. So everything is fine, so I'll start today's session.
Muted.
So in today's class, we are going to discuss an interactive report in WebLink applications. So in this interactive report, I want to take two input fields with sales document number low and sales document number high, and I want to display output which is coming from VBAK table. Based on some input, I want to display some output, and the output should be coming from VBAK table. At the same time, I want to display the item records from VBAP table. So this is my requirement. Input should be VBLN, output will be from VBAK table as well as from VBAP table. So I want to develop a report based on this scenario. So what I'll try to do is, I'll try to take one new component. I'm creating one new component today. Z interactive report component. I'm trying to take one window as well as one view. So you can see window view is available. So what you can do is, you can go to component controller. In component controller, I want to create input node so that user can provide input values. For providing input values, I want to create one input node. So that I'm creating here. Say for example, input. And in this node, I want to create two attributes, one for low and one for high. So you can see I'm creating separate attribute like VBLN low, and data type is VBAK-VBLN. Similarly, I'm creating one more attribute, VBLN high. Two input fields we are going to create. So the data type is VBAK-VBLN. So at the same time, so now for output purpose, I want to create one separate node. This is VBAK, this is for output purpose. And the fields will be from VBAK, so you can take dictionary structure as VBAK. I want to add sales header related fields from VBAK structure. And header records can be multiple records, so you can use 0 to n. VBAK cardinality, I'm using 0 to n because I'm expecting collection of records to this node. So add attributes from structure. You can select the required fields. I'm selecting some required fields, then continue. Now the point here is, I want to display sales item records based on selected header record. This is my requirement, further requirement. I want to display sales item records based on selected header record. So in this type of situations, it is better to create node inside node. Create node inside node to display item records based on selected header record. So whenever you get this type of scenario, it is better to create node inside node. Node inside node means it's nothing but nested node. We call it as parent node - child node. So this type of concept you can use whenever you want to display item records based on selected header record. So don't forget this. So that's the reason why under VBAK I'm creating one more node. So here I want to create node inside a node. So you can right click here and you can create a node. So I'm trying to take this as VBAP. For accommodating item records, I'm using VBAP, and dictionary structure, we are taking VBAP, and cardinality 0 to n, because one header can have multiple items. One can have multiple items 0 to n, and add attributes from structure. So I'm selecting some of the required fields. So you can see we have created node inside a node. So node inside node concept comes into picture whenever you want to display item records based on selected header record. So don't forget this point. So here the point is parent node is VBAK, child node is VBAP. This is how we have created. You can see that VBAK is parent, VBAP is child. Now, okay, let me interrupt. Okay, so here there is a node inside a node. What I'll try to do is I'll try to design the screen. One input screen and two output tables I want to create. So you can go to view one context now. You can go to view one context now. Here you can see context. So I'm trying to drag drop everything. Whatever the nodes and attributes created in component controller, I'm trying to drag and drop because I want to use these things for screen designing. So you can drag drop, that means we are maintaining context mapping. So everything is available as it is. So mapping is maintained. Now let us concentrate on screen designing. So what my requirement is, by using input node, I want to create input form. By using input node, I want to create input form. By using VBAK node, I want to create table as something like table 1. And by using VBAP node, that means child node, I want to create table 2. Table 2 will store item records. Table 1 is for header records and form is for input values. So let us design the screen. It's very simple. I have already discussed how to create forms and tables. So let us use the same concept. Let us go to view layout. And whenever you want to create a form, first of all, create one group. Group is compulsory if you want to create a form. So I'm changing group settings to matrix layout. Now you have to create the form. So go to wizard. Select the form. And as I said, you need to maintain context binding. Maintain context binding with input node. So as I was talking about this one, input node, bind with input form. So I'm choosing input node here. So two input fields will be created. Two input fields will be created, one for low and another for high. So you can see the screen. Now, let us talk about table 1. Table 1 should be created by binding with VBAK node. So let me create the table. And I'm choosing context and I'm selecting VBAK. This is for displaying header records. So I'm selecting VBAK node. So table will be created. Just let me increase the size of the table. Now I want to create one more table. Assume that this is table 1. Now I want to create one more table that is for displaying item records. So go to wizard, select table, maintain context, binding with VBAP. Because in VBAP I am planning to get item records. So try to bind with VBAP. Then continue. So you'll get second table. This is table 1, table 2. And group is nothing but it is for input form. You need not rename, just I'm providing input. So here, let us create one button so that we can trigger some action. So I'm inserting one button. And let me provide inside this. Now there is a button. You can drill it down by making matrix add data. So button will be coming here. So the important point is button should contain action. So let us provide that. Say for example, search data. I'm creating button and there is an action. So let us create one action. Say for example, search data. There's a button with an action. So the most important is what code you need to write in action. That is important. So you can go to search data. And here, let us write our main functionality in component controller. So you try to call that method here, WDCOMP controller, and call, say for example, get header records. This is a method I want to create in component controller. So this method we are going to create in component controller because I want to write main functionality in component controller. So let us go to component controller now. And in methods, let us create that method name, something like get header records. Double click, go to implementation. Just double click and go to implementation. So the point here is, if you are thorough with yesterday's class, now you can easily understand these things. First, we have to capture the input values from input node. That is our first requirement. After that, you have to bind output header records to VBAK node. First capture the input. First capture input values from input node. Then try to bind output header records to VBAK node. But the point here is, after capturing, before binding. After capturing, before binding, what you can do is, you can implement your select query. this is the approach we have to follow. With where clause. You can use where clause here. Capture the input, implement select query, then bind output. So this is a strategy you have to follow when you want to get the records based on some input. So don't forget these basic things. Very common nowadays, now onwards, these are very commonly used. Capture the input, implement select query, and bind your output records to another node. Because here you can see under context, there is input node, there is BBAK, that is one of the output node. BBAK is one of the output nodes. So let us implement these things here. Let us talk about this. One minute. Okay, so here I was talking about this one. You have to capture the input values from input node. So whenever you want to capture input values from input node, then you have to go to wizard and you can choose context with input node. And you can use read operation. When you use read operation, as I said yesterday, automatically this code will be generated. Get static attributes and your input values will come to work area, ls_input. Your input values will come to work area, that is ls_input. Don't forget that. This is a point I was talking about yesterday. Wizard, choose your input node and you can use read operation. You can use read operation and you can continue. So it will generate this coding. Get static attributes. So the input values will come to work area, that is ls_input. Now, the next thing is we have to bind our output records to VBAK node. If you want to bind output records, then you can directly use wizard. You can choose context, select your VBAK node, and you can use set plus table. Set plus table automatically generates bind table method. So don't forget that. When you use set plus table, it automatically generates bind table method. So that's the reason why I'm using this. So you can see this code is auto-generated. Bind table and it is passing internal table, LT_VBAK. So the point here is before bind table, just implement your select query. Something like select star from VBAK into corresponding fields of table. Our internal table is LT-VBAK. That is our internal table. You can see it is generated here. LT-VBAK. Now you can use where clause. Where you can use VBLN between, or you can use like this, VBLN greater than equal to, and you can use and VBLN less than equal to. This is important in today's class. You have to pass your input values to this particular where clause. So to pass input values here, you can see already we got ls underscore input. You can use that work area here and put the field name VBLN low. And you provide work area hyphen, you can use VBLN high. So this is important in today's class. We are executing select query with where clause by capturing the input values. This type of strategy is very, very important. Low and high, these values we are capturing from input node. You can see that. So output records we are binding with bind table method. LT underscore VBAK is our internal table, so we are binding that output table to this particular VBAK node. So I'll try to do it again. Just observe, I'm deleting everything. So first of all, okay, so here, so what I'm trying to do is, I am trying to do it again. First of all, you have to capture the input values from input node. The second thing is implement select query with where clause. Third thing is you have to bind output records to VBAK node. These are the three things you need to do. So let us implement first one. How to capture the input values? You can directly use wizard. You can use node input, plus you can use read operation. When you use read operation, it automatically captures that input values. And you can implement your select query here. And for bind table, what you need to do, you can directly use wizard, plus you can use node VBAK plus set plus table. So don't forget that. Set plus table generates bind table method for assigning the data. And read operation will generate get static attributes method. So don't forget. So let us implement these things. I'm using wizard, choosing input node. You can use read operation. So it will generate these things. Get static attributes, you will get input values to work area, that is ls underscore input. Now let us think about binding output records. So go to wizard, select context, select VBAK. VBAK node has to accommodate output records. So to assign the output records, use set plus table. If you use set plus table, it will generate bind table method here. You can see that. So before bind table, just implement your select query. Very simple. The internal table is VBAK and you can use where clause. where clause where BBLN greater than equal to something like ls underscore input hyphen that field name BBLN low. And you can use BBLN less than equal to ls underscore input hyphen BBLN high. So that's it. So this type of approach is very, very important. So let us activate this example and let us test it, how exactly it is working. So let us see this output. Here you can see you are getting search help automatically because in data dictionary also we have search help, because that's the reason why you will get search help in WebDynpro automatically. It is slow. So it opens search help automatically because in dictionary level there is a search help. So I'm providing some input here. So based on the input, you can get your output records here. And if I change the input, so based on that input, you will get that latest records. So this is how we are getting the sales order header records based on some input. But now, what my requirement is, when user selects a header record, I want to display its items. That's the important requirement. If user selects this header record 5005, its items should be displayed in table 2. So in this type of situations, you can use a function. So we can use supply function whenever we need to display item records. My next requirement is I want to display item records for selected header record. So in this type of situation, you can use supply function. It's a very common requirement. Displaying item records based on selected header record is a common requirement. So in this type of situation, you can use supply function. Supply function is also a special method. It's a special type of method, and supply function generates the code automatically. Supply function generates the code automatically. So you have to use supply function in this type of situation whenever you want to display item records for selected header record. So this is possible if we create supply function on child node. That means you have to create supply function on BBAP node because it's a child node. So this statement is very, very important. Whenever you display item records for selected header record, you create supply function on child node. So don't forget this statement. So you can see now I'm going to child node, and in child node I'm selecting BBAP, that's a child node. On child node you can see there is a supply function option. So you can create some name, Z supply function, the property. Here you can see there is a supply function, you can create 1, 2 or whatever. Okay, let me go to this. Select the node, provide some supply function name here, and when you double click, the code will be automatically available here. In real time also this code will be available automatically. But what you need to do is you have to uncomment these lines. Code will be available in comment mode, but you have to uncomment. So this is the code that is auto-generated. I have uncommented that code. In supply function also, it is internally generating get static attributes. And it is generating bind table. And this is LT underscore BAP is internal table for child node. So what you need to do is, here you can see get static attributes. What it is trying to do, it is capturing selected record of that header items. So this ls underscore parent attributes, it captures the selected header record. Remember that point. Whatever may be the requirement, if you want to capture selected header record in supply function, you have to use ls parent attributes. So that is auto-generated here. And you have to bind your output record, so bind table is also auto-generated. So what you need to do is you have to write your select query directly, select star from BBAP into something like corresponding fields of table LT underscore BBAP. And again you have to use where clause, and the common field between first node, second node is VBLN that you need to provide. That's a common field, and you can pass your selected header record VBLN -VBLN. This is important in this requirement. Common field is VBLN, so we are passing selected header record VBLN. And after that it is automatically using bind table. So our job is just to write select query here for getting item records. Header record is captured into ls parent attributes. So let us run this application now. So observe the point. I'm giving some input 5000. So you can see header records are available in first table. Item record of selected header is in second table. If I change the selection, it will change the items. You can see the difference. When I change the selection, it is changing the items. Okay, so this is how we develop a interact report. Okay, let me take some doubts from your side.
Unmuted.
Unmuted.
Hello students, are you able to follow? In today's class, just we have written 2 select queries. If you have any doubts, you can raise your doubts now. Hello? No doubts from your side? Okay, what I'll do is I'll explain some screen level changes. It's very simple, just observe.
Muted. Unmuted. Muted.
So this is the actual output, but I want to change outputs here. So what I want to do is I want to display contextual panel. And in contextual panel, I want to take area 1. In area 1, I want to display input form. And I want to take area 2. In area 2, I want to display table 1. Area 3, I want to display table 2. I want to make these type of changes. Let us use contextual panel for the same scenario. You can see I'm going to view 1. Let us just change the screens. The root, you can insert one contextual panel. So in panel, I want to insert 3 areas. So insert contextual area. This is area 1. Insert area 2. Then you can insert area 3. Now in area 1, I will try to add form. So drag drop. Very simple. In area 2, I want to add table. Header records table. And in area 3, you can drag drop table. Item records table. Very simple. So here, I want to increase the size of this contextual panel. Say for example, the width I'm making 520 pixels. So you can see the width is increased. So contextual panel width, I made it as contextual panel width as something like 500 pixels. So let us observe the output now, how it looks like. Just activate and test it. So you can see now there is a contextual panel. Output will be same. Contextual panel, what it is trying to do is, it is trying to display some border. It is trying to display some border for 3 different sections. Not only that, you can also use, not only contextual panel, you can also use like titles in contextual panel by using header. Say for example, input form. And similarly, you can take another header in second area for header records. And contextual area with third header for displaying items. So I just added one header title for each and every section. It's very simple. So let us see the output now. So now you can see this is the output. But the point here is you can see you can minimize your contextual panel, something like this. You can expand your outputs and you can minimize. That is the advantage when you take some title inside the panel. Okay, not only this, I want to take one more option like something like tab strip. I want to take tab strip. In tab strip, I want to use tab 1. In tab 1, I want to use table 1. Table 1. And I want to take tab 2. In tab 2, I want to use table 2. That's it. So let us see how it looks. It's very simple. Let us use tab strip. So I'm trying to insert one tab strip here. You can right click, you can insert tab strip. So in tab strip, you can right click, you can insert your you can right click on tab strip and you can insert the tab. You can insert any number of tabs like this. So there are 2 tabs now and you can provide some description. Now in tab 1, you can drag drop table. In tab 1, you can drag drop table. That's it. And in tab 2, you can drag drop table 2. Very simple. So I don't want to use these areas. You can delete. Now this is far better compared to previous requirement. So let us observe the output now. So you can see there is a tab strip now and there is input form. Input form with some input, you can provide some input here, you'll get the data. And for selected header data, you'll get items in another tab. If I change the selection, you'll get its corresponding latest items. Here you can see that. So this is how you can use your tab strip also. So let me take some doubts from your side.
Unmuted.
Hello students, so do you have any doubts?
Hello, sir.
Ashish, tell me.
Sir, can I have fetching of data on enter button?
I can't hear you. Can you raise your voice?
Sir, can we have the fetching of data on enter button?
Enter button. Enter button means what you have to do is you have to go to input field. For input field, there is one on enter event. Are you asking about this?
This one only.
Okay, so here you take one input field, go to on entry event, and you can assign your subtraction. Very simple. So on enter also you will get the data.
Hello?
So I'm providing some input here. As soon as you press enter, you will get the data. Ashish, are you asking about the same thing?
Yeah,
Hi.
There is some disturbance from your side. Okay, I'll ask a specific person. Ashish, is your doubt clear?
yeah, sir, it's good.
Okay, Ravi, tell me, what's your doubt?
Yeah, actually, I haven't connected today, so I'm not exactly got what we have done today.
Okay, Ravi, what I'll do is I've already recorded, so I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I've already recorded. Don't worry about it.
Hello?
Sandeep, are you able to follow?
Yeah, good, sir.
Okay, now is everything looking fine?
Yeah.
Oh, Vijay, no one knows, sir.
Okay, Sami, can you raise your voice?
Yeah. Vijay, actually, I need single total input in low and high. But I don't want two rows.
I'm not understanding
So actually, the input fields low and high.
Okay.
I want single. It means
Then
it
you
means like
remove one input field. Then what you do is you take one input field and you try to place it in a group. If you want only one input, you have your choice. You can remove that.
No, actually, why I'm asking this question? Because the first VBAC table is fetching low and high. Instead of we can take any table means we can pass directly. So after that we can take the table only to directly to the VBAC table also. Why should we use
I did not understand your question. Basically your voice is not clear.
hello now? Now it's okay?
Okay.
So actually we are using low and high
Okay.
for VBAC table. So instead of we can use directly internal table, that will be fine. It means normally we can take select options.
No, your voice is breaking. Okay, what you do is just try to send it. From your side there is some problem. Every day there is some problem with your speaker, I think.
Oh, okay, Vijay, I can ask this question in end of the class.
You send through Gmail, so I'll rectify. And from your side, it's better you rectify that speaker.
Okay.
Okay, what about Vijita? Is it clear?
Muted.
Vijita, is it clear? Today's class. You have any doubts? I think she's not.
Unmuted.
And Sunil?
Sir, I want to ask something. Hello?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you.
So in nested structure, we create the VBAP table in VBAK. So when we do the context binding for area 1,
we select the
we select the VBAK table.
Yeah.
So,
So sir,
so sir, it will automatically
connected with the
connected with the VBAK
Yes.
table.
So whenever you create node inside node, automatically it will capture the selected header
Muted.
because we have created supply function on child node. Whenever you create supply function on child node, the selected header record is automatically captured. That's the main functionality of creating node inside node.
Unmuted.
Sunil, is it clear? Sunil, is it clear?
Sir, can you repeat it?
When you create a node inside node, automatically supply function will capture header records. Whichever header record is selected, it will capture automatically.
Yes.
Okay.
Here I was telling you, you can see the screen. ls underscore parent attributes. It captures selected header record. Is it clear, Sunil?
Sir, it is clear,
Sir,
but
it is clear, but I am asking that when we do the context binding and when we select the table and in context we select the VBAK table for the area 1
and in this
they
It will take all these fields.
so sir we have created the VBAP table in VBAK.
Yes, if you select VBAK, it will choose VBAK fields only in the table. If you choose VBAP,
Okay, so it will not select
no,
the
it will not
VBAP.
select like that. You have to create separate tables directly.
So sir,
You have to create two separate tables for two separate nodes. Even though the nodes are nested. Even
Like
when
it
the
is
nodes
like-
are nested, then also you have to create two separate tables.
okay.
So today's class is the most important class. Please practice this one. And what about others? Sandeep, is it clear to you?
Yes, really clear, sir, today.
Okay,
I
I
have
think
just
most
covered
of your
yesterday's class.
previous. What's the point?
No, you were saying something, sir?
For most of your previous doubts, today's class will clarify you.
Yeah.
Earlier you were asking about how to display the data based on input, right?
Yeah, correct. Yes,
So
yes.
now today's example is a solution for your doubt.
What the small doubt, sir? Here we are using VBLN greater than or equal to VBLN low, or in the where condition, or VBLN less than or equal to VBLN high. Can we use the select options? Is there any possibility?
Exactly. So select options, there is a lengthy procedure.
Okay.
I'll be discussing at the end of our course. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
If I explain select options today,
Okay.
tomorrow you will not attend the classes.
Okay, no problem.
Because
I just want to check with
time
you
will come
because
for select options. Don't worry.
okay, I just want to check whether
I
it's
want
possible.
to
If not,
develop the platform slowly.
yeah, that's better. Yeah, great.
At today's class, it looks like select options, but it is not select options.
Yes.
We are going to use select options with a different technique.
Okay.
Is it okay, Sandeep?
Yeah, it's fine, sir.
Okay, what about your previous examples? Are you able to develop?
Yes, sir.
You are up to date.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. And there is some
Anyway,
problems.
if in case, like if I have any doubts, I will mail you. Like if I face any some
Okay, no
errors,
problem,
if I
no
couldn't able to solve them.
Yeah, sure. And moreover, Sami, it's better you change your speakers here because your doubts are not
Oh yeah,
audible to me.
yeah. Vijay, I also have same doubt. Whatever Sandeep is answering.
Okay, is it clear now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what is use of in inbound like a startup?
So,
The previous
your voice is low.
No, sir. What is use of an inbound like startup?
Inbound plug, what it will do is it will try to open the target view. When you create inbound plug, target view will be opened in a screen. When you trigger outbound plug is source view. Now inbound plug will be on target view. So when source view triggers outbound plug, inbound plug will display target view.
Why in inbound plus default startup?
Why?
Whenever is trigger, the startup that is coming default.
The organizer has ended the session and this call will be disconnected. Goodbye.